Mohammed and Elisha Duisburg. And Kadra is going to be presenting with me part of this webinar. In this webinar, we will inform you on everything that has to do with insurances, the Aon student insurance, what you have to do when you go to work, and yeah, everything you need to know for your study here in the Netherlands or your exchange. As I said, a link will be sent to you of the video. And if you have any questions, you can ask them at the end of the presentation. We will open the mics and you guys can ask questions. And also during the webinar, you can ask your questions in the Q&A. And my colleagues will answer you as your questions during the webinar. Well, now I'm going to share my presentation with you. One moment, please. Bear with me. Hopefully everybody can see this. And an introduction to Aon Student Insurance, ASI in short, for EU and EEA students who are going to do an internship, a study, an exchange in the Netherlands. What am I going to inform you on and what am I going to talk about together with Kadra? Who is Aon? Why is it important to have an insurance? What is the European Health Insurance Card and how can you use it? What is the right insurance advice for students from the EU and the EEA? What is the coverage of the Aon student insurance? What changes and what happens to your insurance when you go to have a part-time job or you're going to do an internship? How can you apply for Aon student insurance? How can you pay and how can you claim back your money? How does the healthcare system works in the Netherlands? Because that might be different than you're used to in your own country. A short recap of everything I told you and your questions you can ask us. About Aon, who is Aon and what do we do? We are an international advisor in risk management and an insurance broker. We have offices worldwide, 500 offices worldwide, and approximately 60,000 employees worldwide. Here in the Netherlands, we have 13 offices, and the headquarters is in Rotterdam, where Kadra, Elisha, and I are based, and from where we're doing this webinar. We are working from the Department International People Mobility. That is where the Aon student insurance is serviced by. We have a multilingual student services team, and we have insured and serviced over more than 450,000 students, international students, in the last decade. We are a partner of many universities and universities of applied sciences in the Netherlands, but also internationally. Well, important. Why do you need an insurance when you are coming to study as an AEA student or an EU student in the Netherlands? For starters, you are responsible for your own expenses when you are coming to the Netherlands. By law, you are required to have insurance, especially health insurance. Healthcare costs in the Netherlands are quite high, and that is why it is important to at least have, insurance here. Because if something happens to you, you need to go into hospital or you need the advice or consult of a specialist. Well, the prices can run up quite high, as you see. Specialist consults are approximately 110 euros per 10 minutes only. X-rays starting at 80 euros, scans starting at 800 euros, and a hospital bed per night is 800 euros, let alone, an ICU, an intensive care unit bed, is approximately 2,000 €500. And again, here in the Netherlands, the government is not responsible for your for the healthcare costs you make if you don't have an insurance. So not having an insurance and needing medical attention can get you in very difficult financial situation if you don't have it covered by an insurance. But not only medical things are important. Unforeseen circumstances, like you need to go back home for an emergency, there's somebody life-threatening ill, or something has happened to a family member, and you want to go back. If you're not insured for that, then you will have to pay those costs yourself. If you accidentally harm another person or damage another person's goods, they can hold you liable for that. Not having an insurance means, again, you will have to pay all the costs yourself. If there's a burglary or a theft in your apartment or your student room, no insurance. I cannot stretch it enough, because each year we have the experience with students who do not have an insurance and run up high financial amounts which they have to pay for themselves. So if you don't have an insurance yet, look out for an insurance. Investigate what kind of insurance you need, and hopefully after this presentation it will give you some more insight into what kind of insurance is important for you guys. Since you are EU or EEA students, the majority of you guys will probably come to the Netherlands with a European health insurance card. The EU card, the EHIC card, only covers emergency health. That's something you have to bear in mind. Sometimes people think that it covers, everything like, the Dutch people have covered. That's not the case. They will help you in the hospital, but if it's not part of your coverage in your home country, then you will have to pay for it yourself afterwards. First of all, if you want to have a European health insurance card, you must apply for it in your home country before coming to the Netherlands. As I said, it only covers urgent medical treatment. Depending on your home country, the coverage is based. So if you are, from a country where the coverage is very broad and extensive, well, then there's no problem. If you are from a country where the coverage is very basic, it can cost you, out-of-pocket money. The EHIC card is not an alternative to travel insurance or a student insurance in this case, because it does not cover any private healthcare or costs such as a return flight to your home country or lost or stolen property, as I said in the previous slide. If you have a European health insurance card, the EHIC card, you must always claim with your EHIC insurer first, and you can do that in the Netherlands through the appointee Zilveren Kruis. Information about that is on our website. The EHIC card has a limited time of coverage that again depends on your home country. Some countries give coverage for 3 months. Some countries give you coverage for a year. Other countries don't even apply coverage. So make sure you know what kind of coverage you have and for how long you are covered abroad. Of course, the insurance does not cover your costs if you are traveling for the express purpose of obtaining medical treatment, and the EHIC card does not guarantee free services. You may be used to going to the doctor or the hospital in your home country, and you don't have to pay for anything by showing your card, your medical card. Here in the Netherlands, with the EHIC card, in some cases you will have to pay upfront and get your reimbursement from your EHIC insurer, and you can do that in the Netherlands through Zilveren Kruis. Well, the right insurance advice based on Dutch laws and regulations. Which insurance do you need? Insurances for international students here in the Netherlands can be a little bit difficult to understand because for each situation you need another insurance. And first of all, international students who are coming to the Netherlands to study only are not allowed to take out the Dutch basic healthcare insurance. That is only for Dutch people who work or who have the Dutch nationality, or for international people who come to the Netherlands and work here and pay taxes. So international students are not allowed to take out the Dutch basic healthcare insurance. But which insurance do you then need? Well, the situation for an EEA and a non-EEA student here in the Netherlands during a bachelor, master, PhD, or other study like a prep year, if you are going to be here longer than 6 months, you need to take out the Aon full degree insurance. If you are an exchange student or you are doing another study, again, a prep year or, a course, or you are an intern and you are going to stay here less than 6 months, then you need to take out the Aon exchange insurance. If you go to our website, you will see on the homepage a button that says Get Started. And if you click on that, we ask you some questions and then you can fill out your situation and we will give you the right insurance advice. So either an Aon full degree or an Aon exchange insurance. The situation changes if you're going to have a part-time job in the Netherlands. If you are a student, and it's highly likely that you are going to have a part-time job if you're going to be here for, a full bachelor or a full master or both. And if you have a part-time job next to your study, and you are earning a salary for which taxes and social securities are deducted, then you become obligated to take out the basic healthcare insurance. You can take out the Aon basic healthcare insurance because you can easily switch between the student insurance and the basic healthcare insurance, or you can take out another insurance if you would like to do that. But anyways, it's mandatory to take out a Dutch basic health insurance once you are going to have a part-time job. Because the basic healthcare insurance is only medical, so no other coverages, we advise you to take on an Aon top-up insurance, which I will elaborate on in one of the later slides. If students are going to do an internship in the Netherlands and you are going to earn more than the Dutch minimum wage, up until now, I have to go back. Up until now, you need to take out the Aon basic healthcare insurance. And again, we advise you to take up the Aon top-up insurance. If the minimum wage if the wage you receive is less than the Dutch minimum wage, then you can keep your student insurance. But keep publications in mind because it might change. Every September, things change here in the Netherlands. And students doing an internship may change as well. But the process now is if you are earning more than the Dutch minimum wage, Aon basic healthcare insurance and a top-up. If you are earning less than the Dutch minimum wage, then you can keep your student insurance. The coverage. Why take out Aon student insurance? Well, we are the only ones here in the Netherlands who offer either for medical expenses, pre-existing conditions fully covered, or a worsening of pre-existing conditions fully covered. There's no other insurer who covers that for students. And our premiums are less than others. Medical expenses, as I said, for a full degree, including pre-existing conditions for exchange students, worsening of a pre-existing condition. The difference between the two is that for a full degree, it's going to be here for a longer period of time, at least, 1 year, and most of the times 2 or 3 years. So that's why we fully cover the pre-existing conditions from that full degree for the full degree students. For exchange students, we cover worsening of a pre-existing condition you have. For example, you have a high blood pressure. You need to have medicine for that. Well, the medicine you will have to take with you from your home country for the time that you're going to do your exchange here. Or take it or buy it here in the Netherlands. But if your high blood pressure worsens and you are, you need to go to the doctor, you receive other medication, or you are admitted to the hospital, or you need a specialist, those costs are covered, and they are fully covered for the actual costs. With the full degree coverage, the pre-existing conditions are fully covered, meaning that if you, again, example, have high blood pressure and you need medicine for that, and everything will be covered then, because you're going to be here for a longer period of time, and it's not possible to take all the medicine with you for 2 or 3 years. So that's why we cover that fully, also for the actual costs. Then psychological treatment, psychotherapy is covered for both full degree and exchange students, up until 3,000 euros per insurance year. Again, with the full degree students, it's including a pre-existing psychological condition. And for the exchange student, it is if a pre-existing condition worsens, it's covered. And if you develop a new psychological condition, of course, then it's covered up until 3,000 euros. Then we cover dental costs because of an accident, up until 1,250 euros for both exchange and full degree. Dental costs because of an accident is when you, for instance, you cycle around, you fall, you break your teeth, and they need to be fixed. You can go to the dentist, and we will pay up until 1,250 euros for the treatment. Everything above the 350 of the 1,250 euros, you will have to pay out of your own pocket. Dental treatment to relieve the pain, 350 euros per insurance year, meaning that if you have an ache, a toothache, and you need to go to the doctor for that to relieve the pain you have coverage up until 350 euros. And everything above that is, per year, you will have to pay out of your own pocket. Then there is emergency assistance and repatriation and extra travel costs for the insured in case of a life-threatening illness or death of a family member. Repatriation has actually 3 coverages in it. Repatriation means that if you need to go back home because of a life-threatening situation with a family member or somebody who's raised you, and you would like to be there, or that person has perished, you can go back home and we will pay for those costs. And of course, you can come back to the Netherlands again, and that is covered. The other way around works as well. If there's a life-threatening situation with you, the insured student happening, and it's necessary that a family member or father, mother, or somebody who raised you comes to the Netherlands, then that is covered also. The travel costs and the accommodation cost up until 7,000 euros. Liability is covered. Liability is a very important coverage here in the Netherlands, and I think, yeah, not everybody may be that well known with it, but
I
li-
have a question.
sorry,
You told about close
yeah,
family
sorry. Can you
members.
wait? No, sorry.
Oh, okay, okay.
Can you wait until the end of the presentation to ask your question? Thank you. Liability is when you accidentally break or harm another person's belongings or another person itself. You will have coverage up until 1,250,000 euros. I'm going to give you an example. For instance, you're going to again cycle around because I think you guys are going to cycle as means of transportation here in the Netherlands, and you yeah bump into a person or you accidentally hit a car that is parked. Well, the person can hold you liable for the medical costs you that happen, or the stuff they you broke from them, their laptop. Maybe they were holding a laptop that's broken. Well, they can hold you liable for that, and you will have to pay that then. In these cases, you are insured under the liability insurance. Then there is luggage and personal items. Full degree students who are going to travel and have the Aon student insurance full degree are covered for 2,000 euros during travel. So you don't have to take out any other insurance. Students, exchange students who are going to do an exchange here in the Netherlands are fully covered for 2,000 euros during the whole period of their exchange. Home content is covered for full degree students up until 6,000 euros. That's against burglary, flood, and fire. So if there's a flood, a fire, or a burglary, you will be covered up until 6,000 euros as a full degree student. Exchange students are not covered because they most of the time have, furnished rooms, furnished apartments, and your personal belongings are covered under the luggage or personal items during the whole of your exchange, and it's also covered against flood, fire, burglary, and those things. Accident coverage, if there's an accident, 10,000 euros. If there's a permanent disability, 75,000 euros. Coverage for both exchange and full degree. And legal assistance is, of course, covered up until inside Europe and outside Europe. And legal assistance, to give you an example, is if you, yeah, well, you rent a room or an apartment, and there's something wrong with the apartment, the plumbing is not working, or there is mold, and the landlord or landlady doesn't want to fix that. Yeah, you come into a dispute with them and you get into a legal dispute, you can contact us and we will assign a lawyer to you who can help you solve these problems. That is legal assistance. Then the premium, very important, of course. The insurance package for full degree students is oh, that was is €1.89 per day, which is 56 euros and 70 cents per month. And if it is a top up, so it is a additional insurance on top of the European Health Insurance Card or the basic healthcare insurance, you pay 85 cents per day or 25 euros and 50 cents per month. The difference in premium is because the top-up insurance is an additional insurance. So you have the same coverage, but first you will always have to go to your primary insurance, which is the EHIC or the Dutch Basic Healthcare Insurance. If you have a full coverage for the exchange, the Aon insurance for exchange students, then you pay €1.59, which is 47 euros and 70 cents per month. And that is 72 cents and 21 euros 60 for a top-up exchange insurance. And the premium is the same for interns and trainees who are going to do an internship or trainee in the Netherlands. With Aon, you only pay for the days that you are insured. So if you are not, if you only need to be insured for, let's say, 4 months and 5 days, then you pay 4 months and 5 days and not 5 months or 4.5 months. You only pay for the days that you are insured with us. Well, that was my part. So I'm going to give the stage to Kade, who is going to explain to you further.
Yes, perfect. Thank you very much, Arti. So I'm just going to explain to you what is not covered under the insurance, and that includes damages caused by abuse of substances like drugs and alcohol, for instance. Damages that were caused on purpose, of course, are not included in coverage under the insurance. Dishonesty, so not providing all of the information to the insurer, for instance. Preventative medicine, procedures and checkups, or over-the-counter medicine is also not included. And dangerous sports with an increased risk of accidents and injury are also excluded from cover under this insurance. Go to the next one. I'll shortly go over the Dutch basic healthcare insurance with you guys. My colleague Arti has lightly touched on the subject before, but the Dutch basic healthcare insurance is mandatory for everybody who works in the Netherlands, regardless if it's less than minimum wage or you're working part-time, for instance. There is one exception, which are internships. If you receive an income for an internship as part of your studies, for instance, and you basically receive less than minimum wage, then you can keep the student insurance. It's also easy to switch between the student insurance and the Dutch basic healthcare insurance. So you can cancel your student insurance and then switch to the Dutch basic healthcare insurance the moment you start working, and vice versa. So if you stop working, the Dutch basic healthcare insurance will also stop, and you can then switch back to the Dutch basic healthcare insurance. You can find more information about the minimum wage in the Netherlands on the website of the Dutch government. And on the website of the SVB, you can find the assessment form, which you can use if you're not sure if you qualify for the Dutch basic healthcare insurance or not. We'll go over the healthcare system in the Netherlands. It's good to note that the general practitioner is usually your first point of contact for any medical complaints. So you can go to them if you have any medical issues. They can then refer you to a specialist if necessary, or refer you to the hospital to do extra checkups, for instance. For the insurance, a GP referral is always necessary to ensure coverage. So if you want to visit a specialist, make sure to go to the GP first, obtain the referral to make sure that everything would be covered in this insurance. An important note is always show on time when visiting a doctor. Usually, if you're like 10 minutes late, you would have to reschedule your appointment in the Netherlands. And in certain cases, they can even fine you or make you pay for the missed appointment. So be on time. And make sure to have a GP referral if you want to go to a specialist. In case of an emergency, you can, of course, bypass the GP and directly go to the hospital. How to find a healthcare provider. So like I said before, it's important to visit a GP first for any medical issues. It's important to have your own GP in your local area if something happens and if you need medical assistance. There is unfortunately a shortage of healthcare providers in the Netherlands, especially GPs. But there are different ways to find GPs in your local area. One of them is going to the website zorgkaart.nl to find a GP. Usually you can basically fill in your postal code, for instance. You'll then get a list of GPs in your local area. You can ask your university. In certain cases, some universities have a GP on campus that you can go to. And we also have some corporations with some healthcare providers, but not in every city in the Netherlands, unfortunately. It's important to note that you have free choice when it comes to choosing your healthcare providers, and you also have free choice in choosing your GP in this case. The student insurance is a private insurance. Before you go to the GP, in most cases, they'll ask you to register. That's not necessarily mandatory with somebody with private insurance. With private insurance, you can basically just book an appointment with a GP. They'll have to issue an invoice after your appointment, which you can then pay and then directly claim with us. We'll go to the next slide about online applications. So it's important to apply for an insurance before you arrive in the Netherlands, just to make sure that you're directly covered. You can apply for an insurance via our website. So it's aonstudentinsurance.com. You can click on the button that says Get Started. You then have to fill out an online form. You could fill in your start date, your end date, which school you're attending. And based on the information you give, you'll be offered an insurance package on the next page. You can then continue with the application and submit your application to make sure that the insurance will start before you arrive here. A BSN number or a city council city like registration is not necessarily mandatory for the student insurance. So you can directly apply for the student insurance without having a BSN. Make sure to take out the insurance for the entire duration of your study to make sure that you're insured throughout your stay in the Netherlands. And you can always extend your insurance. So the moment you apply for your insurance, you'll have access to your online account, where you can also extend the insurance, for instance, if you're staying for another academic year. Payment. So payment is flexible. You can choose the payment installments. It's either monthly, per year, or at once. You can make this choice when you're submitting your application or doing the application. There are two types of payment methods that you can choose from. The first one being automatic deduction or direct debit. In that case, you would have to fill in your IBAN account or IBAN number in the application. The premiums will then be automatically deducted from your bank account. The second payment method is the e-invoice. In that case, you'll receive an email with a payment link where you can then basically make the payment with either a credit card or a debit card. It's important to note that once you make a payment, you don't receive a confirmation per se. However, in your online account, you have an overview of all of your payments. So you can see which ones you've paid for and which payments are still outstanding. Once applied, you are obligated to pay premium. So that's good to note. When your application is approved, the coverage will start from the start date onwards and not from the moment you pay your first invoice. Failing to pay will lead to being registered as a defaulter, which means that you cannot take out any insurance in the future with Aon Student Insurance. And if the university applies for your insurance, payment is usually done through the university. You won't have to worry about that too much. Managing your insurance. So after you apply for the insurance and it's approved, you'll then receive the documentation via email, like the insurance certificate and the policy conditions document. You'll also have access to your online account where you can manage your insurance policy. You can make some changes if necessary. If the university applies for your insurance, payment and changes are then carried out through the university in that case. And like I said before, you can easily switch between the student insurance and the Dutch basic healthcare insurance if you're working. You can cancel the student insurance on a day-to-day basis. So the moment you start working, you can cancel that insurance and apply for the Dutch basic healthcare insurance through your online account as well. And the Dutch basic healthcare insurance should end the moment you stop working. And you can then switch back to the student insurance via the website. Go to the next page, and that is how to claim. So let's say you go to the GP, for instance, and you've had your first appointment and you've paid for the invoice. You then go to the website. There's a button that says File a Claim, which you can click on. You can then either log in to your online account to continue, or you can use the online form. Both options are okay. You basically fill in the details, so the date of the appointment, for instance, and then upload the invoice that you then received. It will then be processed by the claims department and then reimbursed as well. If you have a European health insurance card or a Dutch basic healthcare insurance, you basically have a primary insurance, which is that type of insurance. You would have to claim under your primary insurance first. And if they don't cover it, you can then go to the website of Zilveren Kruis in the Netherlands, who basically handles all of the AA claims, and submit a claim there. If they don't cover it and you receive that message from them, you can then go to the Aon website and then submit a claim there to cover the expenses. The highlights, or at least a short summary of everything. Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Okay. My colleague Arti will continue from here.
Well, hi, I'm back. Thank you, Kadra. Well, we are coming to the end of this presentation, and to sum up some highlights of the Aon student insurance and why it is important for also EU and EEA students to have an insurance. The Aon student insurance is for international students doing a study or an internship in the Netherlands. I just saw a question that was asked that if you're not working, do you also need a student insurance? There are two insurances. You have the Aon student insurance, which we recommend to take out always on top of your European health insurance card if you have one, or if you don't have one, take out the full coverage. And you have the basic healthcare insurance, and that is the mandatory insurance when you are going to do a part-time job, or you are going to do an internship for which you earn more than the Dutch minimum wage. So that as a side step. The highlights with Aon student insurance, you have worldwide coverage. So if you are studying and you have our insurance and you are going to travel, or you're going to do an internship in another country, you don't have to switch insurances if the rules and regulations in the country you're visiting are the same as in the Netherlands. There's no need for a BSN number. That is registration at City Hall. So you can take out the insurance online at any time. The insurance is including medical coverage of pre-existing conditions or worsening of a pre-existing condition you already have. Psychological consults are insured up until 3,000 euros per insurance year. Again, depending on if you have a full degree coverage or you have an exchange coverage. There's non-medical coverage, which is liability, luggage, personal items, accident coverage, legal aid, all that stuff. There is a 24/7 emergency assistance number, the Aon assistance line, which you can contact if there is an emergency, like, you are admitted to the hospital wants to know where you are insured and asks for a guarantee of payment, for instance. Contact the emergency assistance line and they will give you the okay. But also if you need to fly back home in case of an emergency, you can also contact them. Then the insurance is fully compliant for visa regulations, except Switzerland, because they have other rules and regulations. But for all other countries, it's fully compliant. And last but not least, and that is very important, the Aon student insurance is not eligible for healthcare allowance, zorgtoeslag, as we call it, because zorgtoeslag, healthcare allowance, is only eligible for the Dutch basic healthcare insurance. So if you apply for healthcare allowance and you have the private Aon student insurance, they will probably award it to you, but afterwards, you will have to pay back all the money you received. So don't do that because you will have to pay. You can be sure of that. So don't do it. It's not eligible for healthcare allowance only if you have the mandatory Dutch basic healthcare insurance. Then, lots of international students are coming to the Netherlands, and we are invited at many intro fairs of universities and universities of applied sciences. If your university is in this table, come and visit us. And if you have any other questions, you can also ask your questions during the info fairs. But of course, you can also go to our website, chat with one of my colleagues live, and or send us an email or give us a phone call. But it would be great to see you in person during one of the intro days. Service and contact. Well, as I said, if you have any questions, you can always contact our Aon student team. They are available from Monday till Friday from 8:30 until 5:30. You can contact them by phone, or you could send them an email, or you can go to our website. Lots of information is in the section frequently asked questions. You will find almost every topic covered in there. But if you still have some questions or you have personal questions, just call us or chat with us during office hours. And the chat is with a real person. It's a real colleague of mine, and they will try to help you answering your question and giving you information on how to handle. Well, that was the presentation for you guys. We hope we gave you some insight into the insurance landscape. We know it's not the easiest topic and the most interesting topic, but it is a very, very important topic because it can set you back financially quite bad if you not arrange things properly. Leaves me to thank you. Have a great time in the Netherlands. And now we will go to the questions. Let me just skip this. I will stop share my. Yes. And let me see. Yes. Ada Bianchi. Please open your mic. Yes. Hi.
Hi, hello. Thank you for your presentation. Everything was clear.
Okay.
Thank you so much. I wanted to ask you a question. I will be an exchange student in the Netherlands from August.
Yes.
And my home university says that I have to make a safety package, which is mandatory.
Yes.
So my question is it how can I be sure that this mandatory package covers everything also in the Netherlands? And also I also have my health insurance with my bank, which is worldwide coverage for like the basic things.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I can. So how can I be sure that everything that needs to be covered in the Netherlands, it is covered with the insurances I already got, or if I have to make some others?
Yeah, what I recommend you do, because you are an exchange student, if you go to our website, you can download the coverage in detail. And there you can see what is covered, for instance, under repatriation, or what is covered under medical. And compare those two with each other, with the insurance you already have and the insurance we offer. And if it's sufficient, then I would say, well, you do not need double insurance. That's a waste of money. What you do have to bear in mind is that if you come to the Netherlands and you do start a part-time job, then you will have to, because that's mandatory by law, you will have to switch to the Dutch basic healthcare insurance, even if you have insurances already. And of course, you can always contact one of my colleagues if you have further questions.
Okay, so to be really clear, the only eventually mandatory insurance with you with the Netherlands is if I have a part-time job. If I'm
Yes.
always going to be a student, I can
Yeah.
check if my insurances are okay to do that.
Exactly, yeah. But you do have to bear in mind that if something happens with you here and it costs a lot of money, then you have to go to your own insurance in your home country or the one you already have.
Yes, just my
Yeah.
university provides a mandatory
Okay.
safety package.
Okay. Okay.
So I have to make it with my university. So I thought that maybe they are like there's a coverage already because I
Yeah.
have to make it with my
Yeah.
university.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great. Have a great time here. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
AJ, Audrey?
Oh yes, I remember you talked about close relatives like
Yeah.
mother, father. So I'm interested. What if a person doesn't have close relatives, like they're a little bit further?
Well, if it's somebody who is part of your life or has been part of your life or has a significant role in your life, that is considered as a relative as well. For instance, to give you an example, we have students who have aunts or other people who raise them or who are a parent to them. But are not blood relatives, but those count as well as, next of kin, as to say.
Okay, and thank you very much. And should that person register that?
No, no,
Person?
that's not necessary. No, that's not necessary.
So if anything happens, then, for example, an uncle should come and say that I am a close relative, and
Yeah, you need to,
tell you.
if there's something wrong, they need to contact us with with your policy number, and everything will be arranged. We will help them.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Okay, the next one, Jody Albani.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for
Good
the
morning.
presentation. I
Thank
have
you.
2 questions. First and foremost, because it was mentioned that you should have insurance for the entire study period.
Yeah.
However, if I decide to spend the summer months back in my home country,
Yeah.
would I be able to do the contract just for the days or
Yeah.
months that I'm there
Yeah.
and then just restart it again?
Exactly. Yeah. That's not a problem. You do, however, have coverage for 6 weeks in your home country if you would like to continue with the student insurance. But if you want to stop it because, for instance, you're going 2 months or 3 months back to your home country, you just stop it. And once you come back, you apply again.
Okay, that's great. Thank you.
Yeah.
And my second question is, because in my master's, I will have to do multiple internships, and
Yeah.
my university very much pushes for us to do at least one of them out of the Netherlands. In
Yes.
that case, how would I go about the insurance in that case?
You can just take out the insurance for the period that you are going to study, and you're going to do a part of your study in another country, or is it a traineeship?
No, it's just an internship as part of
As
the
part of your,
credits I
okay.
need to get for my master's. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then it's part of the, well, then you can just continue the insurance.
Mhm.
And just before you leave, just give us a call so we can help you to make further actions.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
The next one I have here is, let me see, Thomas Hellinger. Hello? Thomas, no? I have here another hand. Let me see. No, nobody else?
I have a question.
Yes?
So, my landlord couldn't make a direct debit from my Lithuanian card. So I want to ask, maybe it is useful for someone. Can you make direct debits from international cards, or should it be a Dutch card?
No,
Dutch
if it's an IBAN bank account, a European bank account, right, Kada?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's an IBAN bank account for the direct debit. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's so you can do if it's an IBAN bank account, you can do that. And otherwise, they need to make changes in their.
Yeah, so students can change their payment method in their online account. So if direct debit doesn't work for them, they can switch to e-invoice, for instance, and then receive a payment link via email. And for that payment link, you can pay with credit card or any foreign bank account number.
Okay. Does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Hello.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, Arti.
Yes.
Thank you for your explanation. It has been very useful.
Thank you.
May I confirm I'm an Indonesian. I'm going to study master's in the Netherlands. So
Yeah.
I just need to take the Aon full degree insurance, the €55. That's it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So I don't need the E hike just now, that the €25.
No. Where you're from?
Indonesia.
Oh, but then you are in the wrong presentation, because this is a presentation for EU students. But
Oh my.
you have the correct insurance, the full degree.
Yes, so I just need to pay the €55.
Yes.
Right.
Yes,
Okay.
you do.
Yeah,
Okay,
okay. I'm not sure why
bye-bye.
I'm in this.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Georgia.
Hello, yes.
Hi.
Thank you for this call. I have two questions. So
Yes.
first, like if I choose to work over the summer, like somewhere else, would I still need to apply for like the work insurance in Aon?
What do you mean somewhere else? Outside of the Netherlands?
Yeah, like during the summer.
Yeah, it's as long as you don't work in the Netherlands, it's not mandatory. If you work in the Netherlands, then it's mandatory to take out the Dutch basic healthcare insurance.
Okay, thank you.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Sorry, I also had
Yeah.
one more question. Like I have a EU passport, but I don't live in the EU. Like I
Yeah.
live in Singapore. So if
Yeah.
I wanted to apply for the EH, like to add on to Aon, would I be able to do that or
No,
no?
no. If you're not living in a country, even though you have the passport, it's not possible.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Bye. Then I have Samu.
Hi.
Hi.
So I had two questions.
Yes.
One is, if I know correctly, you have to cancel your health insurance in your own country if you plan to have a full health insurance in the Netherlands, if I'm correct.
If it's allowed, then yeah.
Because I heard there are some pretty big fines in the Netherlands for having multiple health insurances.
Yeah, but that is the fines is if you don't have the basic healthcare insurance when you're working.
Mhm. So if I take out a full health insurance in the Netherlands, I don't
Yeah.
have to cancel my Hungarian one?
No, you can stop it, but it depends if it's how long are you going to be in the Netherlands?
Well, for a bachelor's degree, but
Okay.
first, I don't want to take out the full insurance at first.
No.
So that was like part of the question. If I just
Yeah.
take student insurance, then
Yeah.
I don't have to cancel the Hungarian one. So
No,
that's fine,
no.
I guess.
No,
And
if
when
you
I start working, then I look into that more.
Yeah, okay, because if you have the EHIC card, you can take the top-up insurance.
Mhm.
And once you start working, you need to have the full insurance, which is the Dutch basic healthcare.
Mhm. Okay, and one more thing, you mentioned on the EHIC that you have to first file a claim for them, and
Yeah.
then only after that. So I was
Yeah.
wondering how much extra work or time or effort is that?
That depends, yeah. It's always sometimes some administrative time because you need to file a claim and everything. So Yeah, it is sometime you will have to spend on it. Yeah, I don't know how long, but it depends. It can be some time, yeah.
Yeah. So, and if I understand correctly, you have to pay out of pocket and then you can claim the money back.
Yeah,
So you have
yeah,
to have the money
yeah,
on hand.
yeah.
Okay.
Depending on what kind of what kind of consult it is. Most of the times when you go to the hospital to a specialist, you don't have to pay upfront because then you receive an invoice.
Mhm.
But if you go to the GP, the general practitioner, which is the gatekeeper before you go to the hospital, those you have to pay in the majority of cases upfront.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Stefania, I see here.
Yes, hello. I
Hi.
was wondering what exactly the top up for the European health insurance card covers.
The top-up covers exactly the same as the full coverage. Only it's an additional coverage for on top of the European health insurance card for the medical costs. So you have medical, you have repatriation, you have liability, you have home contents or luggage, accident coverage, and legal aid. So from everything is fully covered except the medical costs. For the medical
And
costs, you always, if you have an EHIC card, you always have to go to the EHIC provider first and then come to us if they don't pay everything or if they don't pay enough. The rest is the same, is fully covered.
okay, thank you. And I was
Yes,
wondering if my card expires after 2 years from now,
yes,
can I
yes.
switch plans to the full one?
Yes, that's not a problem at all. That's not a problem at all. You just go to your online account and you change the coverage.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Bye-bye. Then I have Susanna Krekova.
Hello, thank you for nice
Hi,
presentation. I
thank
have a
you.
question. So when student is studying, then and is having that EHIC card plus your
Yes,
insurance,
yes.
how does it change then when the student starts working? As you said that most of them have part-time job. Does it still work with the EHIC card, or
No.
are there any changes?
No, what you need to do, you need to stop the Aon student insurance, apply for the Dutch basic healthcare insurance. And if you want to, you can always take a top up to be covered for repatriation, liability, and everything. But your EHIC card is not eligible anymore when you start to work. Then the top up becomes a top up for the basic healthcare insurance.
Sorry, could you please repeat the last sentence?
Yes, yes. You have the top up on your EHIC card, and if you need to switch to the Dutch basic healthcare insurance, your EHIC card is not valid anymore. You have the Dutch basic healthcare insurance, and then you can keep your Aon student insurance, the top up, because then you have the same coverage as you had with the EHIC card for, repatriation and extra medical coverage and, accident coverage and liability and everything.
Okay, thank
Yeah,
you.
you're welcome. Bye-bye. Then we have 1 minute left, so I'm going to do one more question. And that is, sorry, and that is Evangelia? Yeah?
Hello.
Yes?
I want to ask for master the insurance is mandatory, right?
Sorry, I cannot hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes?
Okay. The insurance for master students is
Yeah.
mandatory, right? Okay. If
Yeah. Yeah.
if we already have insurance in our country,
Yeah.
which covers some things in from Netherlands, for example, it is
Yeah.
also mandatory to make a new insurance again.
It depends on what kind of insurance you have. If the insurance is more or less the same, then you can, of course, keep your own insurance. But I think you have the EHIC card as well. If you have top-up insurance, then you just compare the two and see if it's sufficient.
Okay, and this card, from where I can have the specific card and what process I need to follow?
The EHIC card, you mean?
Yes.
You need to go to your own health insurer in your home country and ask for the card.
Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, bye-bye. Well, I'm going to stop the questions now because there are a lot of questions. Please feel free to go to our website to chat with one of my colleagues or to send us an email. And I see two more questions which I'm going to answer. One is, why should we do the student insurance before leaving our home country? Well, I'm going to explain that. Once you do that, you are insured from the moment you go away from your home to once you are, here in the Netherlands. So during the trip, you are insured and you don't need any travel insurance. That's why we recommend that. And I saw a answer about the healthcare allowance. Because to explain a bit more about the healthcare allowance, zorgtoeslag, again, is not for the Aon student insurance. It's a subsidy you can receive from the government, but only when you have the mandatory Dutch basic healthcare insurance when you work. So not for the Aon student insurance, but only for the mandatory insurance when you work. Yes? Again, thank you very much, everybody. I wish you lots of success here in the Netherlands, and come and visit us if you are, at one of the intro fairs. And well, any questions, just ask them, and we will answer them during email, chat, or anything else. Thank you, and have a great summer. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.